Exclamation everybody, and welcome to another channel update. This one for June 2015. We're almost through June as it is, so I figured I better get this update out lest I want to be late again with it. The game in the background is Raptor Call of the Shadows 2015 edition. You want to see me be bad at a bullet hell game? There you go. So how's the channel been doing this month? It's been doing quite well, I might say. I'm up to, let's see, I've gone from 820 videos in the last update to 892 videos, so 72 videos I've done this month. It's quite a lot, I know. I know there's been a lot of there's you know, I'm often putting up 3 videos a day, which is kind of much, and I feel I have the feels. I understand. It's more of just a timing thing. A lot of that has to do with just things that have come out that I wanted to play that I did not have another time slot for yet, because I have other Let's Plays going on and other things I want to focus on too. So I've been putting The Witcher out in a 6 p.m. time slot every other day. I have to actually record some of that after I record this today, so that'll be ready to go because I'm actually out of recorded footage for that as of Friday. So I need to catch up, which I will probably do today, and then it'll be ready to go for Sunday since it's every other day. And I'm enjoying that game a lot. It's one of those games where it is open world and there's a lot to do, a hell of a lot to do. So that's going to be a long series, and I'm hoping to keep it up to date, keep it up with, you know, every other day like I've been doing. I think I can make that happen. I think I can make it happen. What I'm trying to do is not overload my schedule anymore. He says as he has 3 videos a day going up, but I'm trying not to overload my recording schedule is what I'm trying to get at, because I do like the fact that I'm starting to focus back on Sidequests stuff with the you know, taking a look at games, mostly indie games, although there's nothing that says I couldn't do a AAA game in there if I wanted to, although it is sort of a first impressions thing where I just kind of sit down from the very beginning and play a game for about half an hour or so. So AAA games are not really attuned to that kind of thing, right? Because you're not really going to get a very good impression of them in the first half an hour, because a lot of them blow their wad, so to speak, in that first half an hour, and then the rest, you know, the next 4 hours are nothing but a grind fest. So, but whereas the indie games tend to, you know, they tend to get set their premise up early and stick to it. So that's the only reason mostly why I've been focusing the most on indie games as far as the Sidequest videos go. So, and I would like to continue that. I had, over the very many months that I did not have too many of those going up, I accumulated quite the backlog on my own here of games that I want to take a look at that are either in very early alphas or have, you know, been released, or maybe they were games that I saw back in the alpha days and they've been released since then and I never circled back around on them. So I'm doing all that stuff right now. I'm doing a lot of catch up with that, and I'm always constantly looking for more indie games out there to take a look at, you know, especially since there's very few YouTubers that do mobile stuff, and I've been keeping an eye on the mobile things. I do have a few games out there that I want to make a Sidequest video on. Some of them are a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more AAA, believe it or not, for the mobile stuff. I've also been looking for ones that I can do, you know, full-blown series on if I wanted to. But I'm trying to focus less on the series stuff. You know, just pick a few games that I know that I can get a good, decent series out of, and then the rest I'm just kind of taking a look at as a side quest, and then maybe someday in the future, once the schedule, you know, clears up a little bit, maybe they will become an episodic series or a series that I would do, a Let's Play series, but that's not my primary motivation anymore. My primary motivation now is to just kind of, show what's out there. Give a little peek-see at some of the things that I've been looking at that just kind of populate my desktop like crazy here. I have literally, my desktop is almost completely full of icons because I download so many things, and a lot of the things I actually have on there are now on Steam, and I don't really need those icons anymore. But that's it just goes to show you, I'm always constantly keeping my ears peeled. It's believe it or not, you spend more time as a Let's Player doing research, if you do indie games that is. You spend more time doing research than you really do actually recording sometimes, which is a good thing, because it just means that you're being kind of thoughtful in the way you do things. You're not just picking up the first thing that looks like, YouTuber bait to play. So yeah, just peeling back the curtain a little bit there so you can see what's going on with that. That's where I'm at with that. I would like to make the Sidequests series. I'd like to make that an ongoing thing. Right now it's Wednesday and Friday, and I think I might continue with that. I think I might continue it to be a Wednesday-Friday thing. I think I can get two videos out a week for that, at least for the foreseeable future. I may end up slowing it back down again if I run out of things to do as a SideQuest video, which happened before, which is why they sort of took a hiatus there. That said, I've mentioned this a few times in some updates, that there are games that I come across that are so early that I don't feel like I could make a video of them yet, because the video would only be about 2 minutes long or 5 minutes long, and it wouldn't really show too much. I've finally come up with a solution, I guess, to that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make them SideQuest videos, but I'm going to pair them up with other games that either are or are not related. There may not be any relation between the games, and I think I'm going to call it to do another riff on the RPG wording there. I'll call them Sidequests +1, like +1 dagger of awesomeness, that kind of thing. And during those episodes, I might look at 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 games, depending on what I feel like I can get out of it, and still get, roughly a 25-minute to a half an hour video. Because I feel like if I release a 2-minute video, I'm kind of shortchanging people by doing that. You know what I mean? It feels lazy. I kind of want to put something out that's a little bit longer. 25 minutes seems like the acceptable minimum for most people. I know I tend to throw out things that are half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour long. If I do an hour-long SideQuest video, it's because I'm really enjoying the game, and I feel like I want to have that conveyed during it. I mean, I'll take, for example, TIS 100. That game, that's a puzzle game. I'm not really into puzzle games at all. Even though that tends to be the game that dominates the most, right? As far as wanting, developers wanting videos of it, because not too many people actually really do videos of puzzle games apparently on YouTube. Because I guess a lot of people feel the same way I do, which is it's very hard to make them interesting, because you're kind of sitting there, racking your brain over something and not doing much. But that said, TIS 100 really surprised me. I actually dug it more than I thought I would, and even that I cut down to an hour. It was about an hour and 17 minutes altogether. I cut out some of the think time in there because it was just it was getting way too long. Plus, I was struggling to find music to put in the background. Whenever I run across something that I'm really enjoying like that, it'll end up being an hour long. I'm not expecting you to watch the entire thing, but it's just sometimes my excitement. I feel like I need to I need to have that conveyed, and it has a long warm-up period. Let's put it that way. So there's that. So yes, for a foreseeable future, I think I'm going to have SideQuests videos as a regular feature on the channel, and we'll see how well that works out. It really depends on my on my own funds, because I do go and buy these games myself, or at least try to buy them whenever I can. Unless if it's just a demo that's out, then it's just a demo that's out. That's all I can do. But I don't like to go out and ask for keys and stuff like that. I feel like that gets abused too much. In fact, I see a lot of threads with developers. You know, there's entire websites that are being developed right now to show for indie devs to be able to look up, you know, YouTubers and see if they're actual legitimate people and not just trying to troll them for free stuff and then never you know, giving them anything in return. So and also, you know, I'm still a very small channel, so I can't really offer much in the way of, yeah, you know, if I do a video of your game, it's going to be seen by thousands of views. I was like, nope. The best I do is a few dozen, unless the dev themselves gets involved and tweets it out and stuff like that. So, you know, that's fine. I mean, I still, that's why I feel like I need to pay my way. I feel like I need to pay my way there, so that they know there's no trolling going on there. I am legitimately interested in their games and stuff. So, all that said, I'm hoping to have that continue for quite some time as a regular feature on the channel. Finished up the Spatials this month, and really enjoyed that game. I really did enjoy it. It did get a little bit grindy towards the end, but it was a casual game, so the grindiness was kind of fun, actually, for me. I didn't go all completionist on it like I really wanted to, but I felt like towards the end, I felt like my interest was starting to wane a bit, and I wasn't really creating content that was that fun to watch. So I just felt like, you know, I better just end this now, and then, you know, if I want to revisit it at a later time, I can always revisit it at a later time. Just like Soul Zero, I was like, you know what, I've played through the game almost twice through. I need to give it a break for a little while and then come back to it. And I do intend at some point to come back to it, but it'll be a little while. It's a fine wine, and I wish to let it settle for a bit. So all that stuff, that's what's happened with that. I also, towards the beginning of the month, we had Game of Thrones come out, the latest episode of that. I think it was episode 4 of 6. So played through that in the normal fashion. And then I've got Tales from the Borderlands going now. I've got that actually going, instead of every day, I've got it going every other day on the days that, at 6 p.m., on the days that The Witcher is not playing. And I've got 4 episodes of that. That's I mean, each episode of those games is about 2 hours in length, so that gives me about four episodes when all said and done. Really loving that episode of Tales from the Borderlands. I loved it enough that I went on the Humble Bundle. Just so happens that the Humble Bundle this time around is the Humble Borderlands bundle. And I've always been on the fence about whether or not I wanted to, you know, purchase Borderlands and all that stuff. I was like, you know what? It's in the Humble Bundle. All of them are in there, along with the DLC. And then you also get a coupon, like a 75% off coupon for the latest one. What was it? The Borderlands, the pre-sequel, I think it was. Yeah, I got 75% off coupon from that. So that brought it down to like $15 for that. So all told, I paid $25 for the bundle, and then I paid $15 for the latest Borderlands one, and so yeah, math. $40, we'll say, maybe, if I did my math right there. So that prompted me to purchase that. I may play that on a stream at some point. I don't know. I've always been on the fence about it. I've watched other people play Borderlands. It always felt like, just watching them, it always felt like it was sort of a grind fest. It felt like something that you really needed to play as a co-op, in a co-op thing. that said, I mean, RPGs are nothing if not a little bit grindy at points. So I thought, maybe let me just try. The other thing that kind of throws me off about it is that, and this throws me off about a lot of RPGs, like even like Torchlight and stuff like that. This is the same kind of complaint I had about Torchlight 2 and stuff, Diablo and stuff like that, is that it throws a lot of those randomly generated weapons and armor pieces at you, and it makes it so that it feels like you're playing a spreadsheet, right? You're like, all right, well, let me see. Well, this one's got 2 attributes that are a little bit better, but then 4 attributes that are worse than the other one I have. It's like, well, do I want this one? Do I want that one? They're all the same color, so I can't really tell if they're better or not. Or worse yet, this one's a better color one, but it's got worse attributes than a lower color one that I have. It's just that tends to drive me nuts from time to time, which is why I'm often on the fence about games like that, or RPGs like that. But I don't know. I'm willing to overlook it and try my luck at at Borderlands maybe, and see if I enjoy it or not. Speaking of older games that I enjoyed, that I was playing on a stream, I just played on the last Friday stream, Just Cause 2. I went back to that. I haven't played that since the Xbox 360. I actually completed it on the 360, which is quite the feat there. I did not intend for that to be. What am I even saying there? I did not intend something. No, I played it all the way through on the Xbox 360. It's one of the few games that I played all the way through that's like an open world game like that. And I had forgotten just how much fun it is to just turn your brain off and just live in the explosions, which is basically what it was. It's part GTA, part maybe Saints Row the Third, because the fourth wasn't that great as far as I'm concerned. But Saints Row the Third was really great. That was another one that I played all the way through the end. Very rare for me to play these open world games all the way through the end. Usually I get bored of them at some point, but the rare ones that I make it all the way to the end of the storyline are the gems in my book. And so I went back and started playing that on stream again, and I had forgotten how much fun that is to just sit there and just make things explode. Just all the explodey all the time is what was kind of cool about that. So I had a lot of fun with that. Also continuing to do my little experiment with live streaming, which is I am using Restream.io to restream my stream, split my stream up, if you will, amongst the three major services. So YouTube, Hitbox, and Twitch. And I may actually cut Twitch out at some point, depending on the game. I may cut Twitch out because Hitbox and YouTube can do massively high things, right? Like on YouTube, I can actually stream at 6,000 6,000 megs. I forget what bit rate it's rated at, but I can actually stream at that level and get a hugely good stream out of it. I think Hitbox can also support something very similar to that in terms of frame rate, or not frame rate, but bit rate and so on and so forth. So that, to me, and Twitch doesn't unless you're a partner. So there might be a case in the future where I'm playing something where I want to play it at 60 frames per second and I want the highest quality possible, and I may stream to just Hitbox and YouTube rather than all three. But for now, I've been streaming to all three, and it seems to be working out okay. I usually only get I do get a couple viewers on the other things. The hardest part is actually trying to keep track of the chat. The Restream actually gives you a little chat window that you can look at that will aggregate like Twitch and Hitbox's chats, but it doesn't aggregate YouTube's chat yet, so I gotta have those windows open. And then on Friday, I couldn't find the damn link. It's such a small link on their site as to, that aggregates the chats. And then I ended up just having 3 windows open myself, trying to manage that and everything. So it's a little bit rough around those edges. But I'm hoping that, I think I like the idea behind it, and it's something I want to continue doing as far as that's concerned. I'm not too thrilled with YouTube's highlighting mechanism, because it's like you can only highlight it while you're there. You can't highlight it later, as far as I can tell. So if you're looking at the live streams on YouTube, you'll notice that in the first 7 minutes or so, while I'm trying to get set up, there's not a whole lot going on. You have to skip it. Normally, like on Twitch and on Hitbox, I will go and highlight and get rid of that first 7 minutes so you don't have to see it. But on YouTube, I'm struggling to figure out how to actually do that, because it's like once it goes, after your live stream is done, you're pretty much screwed as far as trying to highlight stuff. I'm like, why would I highlight while I'm streaming? I don't know, but that's just, I haven't figured out how to do it yet. So they got a little bit of work to go on with that, as far as that's concerned. So I apologize that you're going to have to skip over the first couple of minutes if you do watch it on YouTube. There's not much I can do. There is a little bit of setup I got to do every time I start streaming, just to make sure that it's streaming everywhere successfully and everything else is going on, and I've got the right, my microphone's plugged in and all those things. So apologies on that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with Just Cause 2. I don't know what I'm going to stream next week. I'm trying to variety stream like I do everything else, so I may not necessarily play more Just Cause 2 next week. I don't know. I might. It depends on what mood I'm in, really, is what comes out of the stream. I may even do some investigative streams with some games. Those tend to be a little bit more boring because I'm more focused on the actual game and trying to figure out how to work it, and less on trying to be entertaining per se. Although I can't really say that I spend that much time trying to be entertaining as it is. It's just either I say something funny or nothing happens. It's just I have no control over it. The funny bone has no control. It does its own thing. So that's I'm going to continue with that for as long as I can. Let's see, what else do I have on my list here? Chroma Squad will be coming back, hopefully, if I can get past the problems that I'm having. This happens often with me, is that I'm really bad at all games, like really bad. And sometimes I encounter games that I just cannot succeed at. I can't get past a certain level, and they end up going back onto my back catalog because there are other things that I'm playing. And then it takes me a while to get back around to them, and then also a while to actually complete them. I've had this happen a few times. I had this happen with, what was that? There was an RPG game early on in on my channel that I can't remember the name of right now, that I got completely, utterly stuck in. It was a point and click. It wasn't an RPG. It was a point and click game. Totally stuck on it. I looked up all the hints, couldn't figure it out from the hints, nothing. I just was not working. So that I sort of stopped that. So I stopped that series because I couldn't get any further. Also, Space Run, I think, was the other one, which was like a tower defense, a twist on tower defense stuff. I got to a point on that where I could not get past it. There was one mission that I just kept failing over and over and over again, and still actually failing at. I every once in a while I'll go back and try to try it again and see if I can get past it, and still no success. So I had to stop that series because of that. Chroma Squad right now is on that list where I got to season 3, and the very first mission in it, I can't complete it. I'm failing at it. It's just bad. I mean the difficulty just ramped up like crazy. So I'm going to keep trying. But it is going to take me a while. If I ever get back to it, it will take me a while, because I need to have time to do it. And right now I'm spending a lot of my time on things that I can complete. Things that I can be at least moderately successful at. So sorry if you like that series. I hope at some point I'll be able to bring it back. But right now I'm just trying to keep my head above water. I do have some vacation time coming up because it is July and Independence Day and all that stuff. So not as much vacation as I normally have, but I do have a few days. And I'm actually further ahead in recording than I've ever been for my channel. Like literally, I've never had this much video waiting in the wings as I have now. So that's really cool. Oops, sorry. Sorry if I might have slightly burped there. So I have that. I have a lot of stuff scheduled and ready to go. I've got all of Wolfenstein, the Old Blood, scheduled and ready to go. In fact, that will be completed on Saturday. That's the last day for that. And then taking over after that will be Driver San Francisco. I have about 2 hours of that recorded, I think. So I will be able to go and edit that. And then, what else? Oh, Dishonored will be the last episode of the main quest will be, I think, Monday, I think? Or it might be actually a little bit later than that. I forget how many episodes I have left on that. But that will be going up, and then I just started recording the Knife of Dunwall DLC. I have at least one episode of that. I started to get really tired. I was recording it last night after the after doing the live stream, and I was very tired after the live stream, and so I just cut it short and did, you know, just like 40 minutes or so, just to not overdo it, because I was starting to get a little bit tired there, and it'll come through in the recording, I'm sure. But that's where I'm staying with that. I'm going to record some more Witcher today, and I actually feel like recording some more Driver as well, so I'll be well and far ahead of that, hopefully. And then of course I gotta record Sidequests, or not Sidequests, I gotta record Cube Ramblings and all that stuff. Cube Ramblings is coming close to episode 100 of Cube World, and it's, I think Cube Ramblings is like 60 something right now, so got a bit of a little mini milestone there. Also, July will be the 2-year anniversary of my channel. I had mentioned a while back that I would probably do something a little bit special for it. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I do this all the time. I overcommit myself to things knowing that I probably won't be able to do it. I was going to do a little bit of a montage, but I actually have other things in mind that aren't quite as visible, I guess. Like during my vacation here, I have some plans that I wish to do. One of those, I'll talk about a few of them, but there's a few that I don't want to talk about because I have no idea when I will ever finish them. But one of the ideas I have is I really do want to go and fix my channel art. I have an idea for something that I can do. Like, I've had ideas for things that I'm sure an artist could probably do, but I feel weird asking artists to, like, hey, would you make a channel art for, or, you know, I'll pay you to make channel art for a channel that's only got like 200 people. And it's like, well, it's not really beneficial to the artist, right? Because nobody's really seeing their work. So I have an idea for something that I can do, that I can accomplish. Relatively straightforward one, except I have to download a bunch of my old footage that I have out on Crash Plan, which it's going to take forever and a day, because it's literally, it's the slowest freaking backup you ever did know. I have good internet too, and their backup is extremely slow. And I'm paying for it too, which is the worst part. I feel like I should just go pay for Amazon S3. I'd probably have a better experience than that. But anyway, I digress. So I've got channel art that I want to do. I want to, you know, try to fix that up if I can. May or may not do a channel trailer. We'll see. I have an idea for a channel trailer, but I don't know. It really comes down to time. What I'm more focused on is get the channel art. I also want to get the my end slates. My end slates are woefully out of date. Woefully out of date. I only have like 9 end slates, 9 different end slates, and they're from games that I've been done with for a long time. So it's come time to fix my end slates. I also, in the process, I tried the new end slate thing where I had like a moving end slate, and it didn't work out as well as I'd liked. I tried it a couple times on a couple videos. It did not feel right. It did not look right. I'm going to go back to just having a static image, but I just got to find what image I want to put on there from whatever game I want to put on there. Try to find the most beautiful one I can, and fix up the text a little bit. I want to, instead of using actual icons, or instead of using actual images for like Twitter and stuff, I have downloaded Font Awesome, and I'll just use the font for it, and then I can resize it whatever way I want, because they have icons for Twitter and all kinds of other things. Use them a lot on websites, which is another thing that I'm kind of thinking about, but I'm not going to get into that because I have no idea when when I'd be able to finish something like that. But I've got all that going on, all that stuff. I'm hoping to get through. I'm hoping to have time to do that because it's really necessary. Also, I have changed the music that I'm playing during the end slates of the videos. You'll hear it at the end of this video as well. I found some music on OC Remix that I actually sat there and played it on a loop for about 2 hours, and it didn't annoy the hell out of me. So I was like, well, this is a good end slate. I'm always looking for some my end slates. I want them to be like upbeat, and also sort of like I always have in the back of my mind the idea that it's sort of like the old Looney Tunes cartoons when they would, like, Bugs Bunny and Daffy would be up on stage and they'd be dancing around to music. You know, they have their top hats on and their canes. I've always kind of thought of about that as being something that's sort of in that same realm. Very upbeat, very cheery, and also kind of like, rolling along, as my end slates. And the one I had was okay for that, but this one I feel like is a little bit even more, over the top, a little bit more, exciting, I guess, happy, whatever you might say. And like I said, I listened to it many times over on a loop for about 2 hours at a time, and it didn't annoy me. So I think that's always a good thing. It may be a little bit louder than the other one, so I've tried to I'm still working with the volume there so I don't blast your ears out at the end of each video, but otherwise I'm really digging it. So hopefully you guys are also digging that as well. And that I wanted to wait until I had my new end slates to do that, but I said, you know what, no, let's try this out first. And if I get any complaints about it, then I know that what my length of my end slate should be. Because the other problem with my end slates that I have now is I never made them. I just picked a random length of them. Like I think I just said like, oh, I'll just make them 20 seconds or whatever, 25 seconds, whatever. And I never like actually measured it up against the song. So a lot of times when you look at my end slates, if they look like they're in slow motion, it's because they are, because I actually slowed them down so that they would extend for the length of the song. And it's even more pronounced now because the song length that I have there now is about 8 seconds longer than the other one. So I'm going really slow in those Forza Horizon 2 videos. They're almost a slideshow at this point. So if you're ever curious about why that is, that's why I've been doing that. So I also want to make sure I get an end slate that I don't have to manipulate like that. I can just have it be the correct length of time. So yeah, there's that. So I said I'm up to 892 videos. I've gone from 35,817 channel views to 37,907 channel views as of when I'm recording this on Saturday morning. And I've gone from 216 to 225 subs. So welcome to all the newbies, and thanks for sticking around to all the veterans. More things are to come. More things. Many more things are coming. Just going to keep on rolling along here. Some videos that are upcoming. I've got, like I said, Driver San Francisco. I've got a little bit of No One Lives Forever recorded. Though I may go back and re-record that stuff because I recorded that about 2 months ago, and I just feel like I should probably go back and re-record some of that stuff. I don't have any plans of putting that up yet because I don't want to overfill the channel schedule like I was before. So I'm just going to kind of sit on that for a little bit. I'd rather put Driver San Francisco up first, and then, you know, maybe after that's done, I'll do this, or maybe after Dishonored is done, after I'm done a DLC for Dishonored, maybe then I will put up, you know, No One Lives Forever. I'm trying not to put too many. I'm trying to, like I said, trying to keep it as a variety channel. So I'm trying not to put up too many, you know, old games versus new games versus, you know, shooters versus all this other stuff. I'm trying to keep it as varied as possible because that also keeps my interest, is when it's varied like that. So I just want to make sure that everyone's aware. That's why I try not to spam it too much. I also have thought about playing some Tachyon Fringe. I actually got it working on my computer. I've got it in the I got the resolution set up so I can actually do 16:9 resolutions on it, you know, some mods to help me get to that point. The same with No One Lives Forever. I have that modded so it will be 16:9 resolutions and all that stuff. And unfortunately I could not do that with Raptor here, so you'll see letterboxing and stuff around this. But I want to make sure that I don't put too many things up that are old versus new versus all this other stuff. So trying to keep a variety there. The Witcher will continue, like I said, and hopefully we'll have other things here. I've got decks going on. I was running into some problems, you know, moving forward on decks, but I think I've resolved some of those. So we're good there with decks. That will continue. And I gotta get back to Void Expanse at some point too. Very, very apologetic if you were really interested in the Void Expanse stuff. I've been spending a lot of time recording other things and not spending any time in there. So my apologies. Like I said, I try not to abandon things as much as I can. But you know, for games like that, you sort of do abandon them at some point because they're just, you know, there is no real end game in them. They're just a sandbox. Speaking of sandboxes, I've been tempted on numerous occasions here to start playing Kerbal Space Program on the channel. I did play it a little bit for a couple weeks in live streams, which are out on Twitch. You can see them out there, the VODs for them. I've been debating it because I'm really terrible. I'm really terrible at the game. Really, really terrible. And it's hard to, you know, it's hard to get good footage from it because it's, you know, I'll spend a lot of episodes just kind of failing repeatedly, which is okay by me. I'm fine with that, but a lot of other people are not. But that is, I think, a good update on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.